Well, I mean, it's only like 9:30. I guess I could just play some games for a bit. Alright, man, we were on for a bit. I'm gonna get off. Alright, well, I guess I'm ready to go to the gym. Wait, it's nighttime.
It's easy to lose track of time when you're having fun, but in our current society, people are spending most of their day on their phones and games. It's important for people to still go outside and stay active to remain healthy, and not just waste their day gaming or scrolling social media. In this video, I'll provide my favorite way to stay active, and maybe encourage you to start a similar hobby. So, you might be wondering, what is this video actually about? Well, if you're coming from my Adobe Express webpage, you know that my hobby is hiking. Let's dive into why I chose hiking as a project. As a college student studying computer science, I'm always looking at a screen. Whether it to be to study or take notes and code, while I'm in a class, you don't really get a break from technology, especially when it's one of the main ways people relax now, through social media or games. For me, the best way to just take a break from my usual surroundings and everything else has been through hiking. Now, I'll tell you the origins of hiking and how I was convinced to start hiking for my project. So, let's get into the background of things. Hiking originates as a survival necessity where nomadic tribes would hike or climb land to search for food and other resources to stay alive. The earliest actual documented instance of hiking as a recreational activity was until 1336 during the Renaissance, where a poet named Francisco Petrarca wrote a letter to a friend detailing his ascent of Mount Ventoux. What began as a survival necessity evolved into a way where individuals can experience nature and appreciate its beauty. So, now you might be wondering, how did my own hiking journey start? Well, it was started very unexpectedly, just during a trip to visit some old friends in Los Angeles. I was actually born in LA, but I've lived in the Bay for a while now. So while I was down there over the summer, we got the idea to just explore and find anything we can do. We went downtown, went to parks, everything that was around, but kind of got tired and thought we had explored basically everything around us. So we looked on Google Maps and we saw there was a hiking trail nearby and the view looked really nice, so we decided just to go for it. The trail was around only 4 miles and we all were able to make it back in time before people had to go. So we just went for it, and this small adventure was what ignited that curiosity for me and made me want to continue hiking as a hobby. So, now that I've shown you how I started this project, let's get into my actual attempts. One of the best things about hiking is how easy it is to start. Hiking is extremely cost effective, unlike many other hobbies you might consider. All you really need to start is a comfortable pair of running shoes, which shouldn't set you back too much. Since the requirements are so low, it's kind of hard not to just start whenever when you don't really have any excuses. Since the only barrier is finding somewhere to go, I invited some friends to a nearby trail around Oakland called Grizzly Peak to go for a hike. Even though it was only a few miles away from where I live, it was a complete change in surroundings. Even though this was only my first attempt, this was probably my favorite experience I had with the hobby. This hangout, blended with the nature around us, was an environment that I'd never experienced anything like before. That trip that I went on already feels like a core memory to me, even though it's only been a few months. It was a long, windy, and inclined road, but I had some confidence for my first hike and friends to keep me company, so no matter how long it took us, I would have fun the whole way. After persevering through the hike, we reached the top and got a beautiful view of the city and its surroundings. It was a mix of everything I had hoped for, with a unique blend of nature, physical activity, and just a great way to relax with some friends. After this, to meet my goals, I decided that for each hike, I would try to increase the incline and the length, making sure that I did a longer hike each time and actually progressed. Since the first couple attempts are a bit repetitive, you're free to go to my Adobe Express and fully dive into those. But for my video, I'm going to skip the first couple and we're going to go straight to the middle of our project. After being a few attempts into my project, I could definitely feel myself getting stronger. Each week, I made sure to increase the difficulty of my hikes and explore trails I've never tried to keep the experience refreshing. As we get to around the midpoint of this video, I want to take a deeper dive into the physical side of my project. As you heard in my intro, one of the main reasons I started hiking was to train my lower body. Throughout this project, hiking was a great addition to my usual gym routine. If I missed training legs throughout the week, or due to school or work, I always had hiking as my alternative to put in the work over the weekend. Staying active actually inspired me to start incorporating more time into my weight training routine. At the start of my journey, I was just hiking, and I stopped dedicating my other day to the gym. I would just hike once a week over the weekend, and that would be it. However, Midway through my project, I decided that every Thursday I would also hit legs to try to aim for more consistent results by dedicating 2 days a week to training my lower body. Even though my initial routine was very inconsistent with work and school and only hiking once a week and no leg training, I saw major increases in most of my lifts on my legs from 5 to 10 pounds each. So in the background you can actually see my primary workout space, which is the gym in my apartment complex. It makes it a lot easier since I can just finish homework and walk right up and not have to commute to a gym or anything. So now I'm going to walk you through some of the exercises that I do every Thursday. These first 2 exercises aren't too hard and easily accessible to anyone since all they require is dumbbells. The left diagram is someone performing dumbbell squats and the right is calf raises. I usually do both of these exercises for around 2 sets each with around 10 to 12 reps. Then here is someone using a leg press machine. If you're able to go to a local gym, this machine is really good. There's many different ways you can use the machine to focus on different muscles in your leg. And even if you don't have access to all this equipment, a local gym, or any leg machine, just even starting with body weight or dumbbells always works great. Finally, to make the most out of my last attempt at my hobby, I wanted to really challenge myself as much as I could to see if I had progressed at all since the start of my journey. For this trail, I planned my longest hike yet, the Orson, Bear Creek, and Hampton Trail. In one of my previous attempts, I had completed one part of these trails, but while researching for a long trail for my final hike, I found a combined 3-part reservoir loop, which I thought would make for a great final challenging hike. The entire trail was around 13.5 miles, which is over double what my biggest hike was throughout this project. I had a friend who tagged along and the area was nice between each hill's peak, but once you got near them, the incline only got worse and worse. The hike was supposed to be around a 6-hour loop, but we were able to finish up in a little less than 4 hours. After this hike, I was really glad about my results after finishing this entire journey. At this point, it was obvious to me that I had gotten significantly stronger if I had been able to finish such a lengthy and high incline trail. At first, I had been skeptical of climbing a mountain for a few miles with some friends, but now I had just accomplished a nearly 14-mile trail with no issues, besides just being extremely tired and worn out after. Other attempts had made me skeptical of my progress, since I continually had other factors try to affect my experience, like getting sick. But after this, I was confident that I'd grown significantly as a spontaneous decision that started as a casual adventure up an unfamiliar trail evolved into a journey that turned a small hike into a newfound passion for me. After this small adventure, I realized how great it could feel to take a break from the usual everyday environments. Once I had started college, I knew I had a lot more time to myself, so finally starting the idea of hiking was immediately what stood out to me. From random trails of Los Angeles, where my curiosity led to my first ascent, to my most challenging hike at Lafayette Ridge, this project has been great for exploring nature, along with the physical benefits I've gained over the course of my attempts. Hiking at the end of each week has become a great way for me to clear my mind, offering not only physical but mental health. One of the most valuable things I learned from this experience of starting a new hobby from nothing is how it's never too late to change things up in your life. If you really want to go do something, you'll be able to make it happen. The weekly submissions that kept me ready each week, no matter what I had going on, and kept me consistent with this hobby. Starting something new and changing up your usual routine can probably be a bit stressful at first, but as time goes on, you'll be glad to go out each week and document whatever you do, whether it's hiking or lifting. As other people review my page, I hope that they also get inspired to pick up any sort of self-improvement hobby like working out. My goal with this paper was to get people off their devices and go explore the world and break free of their everyday cycle of school and work and whatever you're stuck with. So, thanks for watching, and I hope I inspired you guys to add something different to your usual routine.